Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can see this stream. I hope you're all here. Let me quickly give it a few seconds for some people to hop on in so I know I'm actually live streaming. Just give it a second. So, for all of you that are XRP holders, hey, we are finally breaking out. Now, I have to change the thumbnail real quick, but I was actually in the middle of recording a video when all of a sudden just now the price of XP went back to 248. And for a lot of people, that might not sound really relevant, but I will tell you right now, it is. All right, because we're changing the structure from what we've seen the last couple of days here, basically downwards, to hopefully, depending on where we end up over the next few hours, to hopefully right now, upwards. And this could be another breaking point, which in hindsight will be seen as a major point of change, as right now on the short term, we have passed the previous levels we saw the last few days. Friday the 13th, though, maybe we're going to get unlucky. No. But all jokes aside, we've got past a couple of the most important barriers that we made throughout the last few days here at, I'm going to say, roughly 246. Right now, we are still actually trading above it at 247. Just now, the highest point we hit was 248. But again, we want to get to about 261, 262. Quickly, guys, if you're in the chat right now, make sure... Oh, wait. Can you guys not see anything that I'm doing? You guys cannot see anything that I'm doing. Wait, give me a second. How does that work? Wait, what? You guys cannot see anything that I'm drawing there, can you? Let me see. I have to put this, do this, do this. Do this again. Okay. Can you guys now see my cursor? Nobody could see what I was doing. Hopefully we fixed it now. We good? Wow. Right. Everybody from the chat right now, make sure you quickly go ahead and press that like button. We've got about 200 people in, so make sure we just get those likes up. Why not? Let me tell the story again, because obviously nobody could see it just now. All right, so what has been happening to XRP over the last few days here, at least since the start of December, is we've actually, for the most part, just been... Here we go. We've actually, for the most part, just been going down, and that's basically a downtrend, right? On the short term, this is not too significant, but anyway, that's the pattern that we've been seeing. Quite clear. Now, over the last few days, you can actually see that we have been going sideways. But more importantly, again, the structure overall was downside, with the highest point, or the highest, let's just call it top, in this structure being right here at roughly 246 or something like that. Right now, as it stands, right now where we're currently at, we're trying to overtake that previous threshold. So that is quite relevant. But more importantly, if we actually want to break the structure, just topping out here, for example, would mostly just be seen as a double top before maybe continuing on. If we actually are able to break this yellow line, though, then it basically goes from downtrend to, again, uptrend. So it goes from just looking like this to looking like this. And that is the most bullish thing you want to see. Now, as it currently stands, I'm not saying it's going to happen today. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the next 4 hours or so, but we're making a dent in it. We're starting to change. We're starting to make some moves in the right direction. And this is what we've been talking about for a while. Remember what I was talking about in the previous stream where we talked about this is kind of what we want to see. We want to see a bounce, perhaps a slight retest, which again, if we're, quickly see lowest point 222 or something like that. If we kind of look at it, you can see it's slightly skewed, but the idea still counts the same nonetheless, that we were able to go above, tested right back in, and now perhaps are able for our rebound where we basically take towards the heights again, depending on where we end up throughout the next few hours. But like I just said, we are attempting a breakout. This is not the craziest of pumps just quite yet, but in my opinion, this is a very juicy start, and I'm very, very happy to see it. Now, in the meantime, one of you guys said just now that HBAR is doing some way better numbers, though. We can quickly go ahead and take a little look at it. However, I just wanted to quickly state that on the XRP to Bitcoin chart, still nothing really is happening. And the gains still are rather open for interpretation, or how can I call it the best way? We're still basically nowhere yet in the grand scheme of things, so this breakout is nothing. And I keep saying, right, I keep saying it like almost every single day, whatever we're talking about here, these are all very, very minor parts. These are all very, very minor price increases. Man, HBAR is just crazy. Whoa. Anybody here holding HBAR? It was able to do, let's just quickly see for fun. It was able to do 35% up or so from the bottom throughout the week or throughout the last few days. Wow. That is actually pretty freaking massive if you ask me. Seriously? Whoa, right? It was able to go up about 35% or so from the bottom. And that reminds me again of why people, man, I was making a video about this just now. I was making a video about how confident I am and why it's always so easy for me to buy the bottoms and why I keep showing you guys these trades that basically showcase buying like a freaking madman. It's because I'm personally convinced if you always focus on getting your average price as low as possible and you just basically keep doing this throughout slightly longer periods of time because of the underlying bullish Bitcoin narrative. I'll show you guys again. Because of the underlying Bitcoin bullish narrative, we all know it's not going to top, most likely. It's not going to top out just quite yet. It could happen as early as March. We don't know, but that's still about a quarter away. It's still like 3-4 months or so away. And the funny part is altcoins usually top later than that. So I'm personally quite convinced we've got at least 4 more months of crazy bullish price action left. At least that's the minimum that I personally think we could be happening. And that is for the most part basing it on the idea that this top that we saw in March of 2021 was the actual top with a pseudo top, so to speak, a little bit afterwards in November, because obviously it's an increase from 63 to 69,000. It's not that much. It's still almost 10%, but let's just say it's not that much. And perhaps you might put up that this was really the top. There was some crazy happening there that caused us to have a second top, but we might just want to ignore it. Anyway, that puts our bull run case slightly forward a bit, meaning we might actually top up for Bitcoin, maybe like last time, early March or something like that. And then altcoins going for a crazy run. But that is still my minimum for where I see things. Or at least, if you really want to be even more conservative, you could even say February. But the point is then, it still takes many, many months. The high point is still, in my opinion, guaranteed, but I'm not your financial advisor, not in just quite yet. And so I follow the broader Bitcoin strategy. I follow the broader Bitcoin theory, which is just, we're going to go up. We don't know how long, but we're going to go up. So I just buy every single thing. Every single time here. Look at Shiba Inu, for example, right? It's come up about 20% from the bottom. Let's quickly go through another few. Okay, this is versus Bitcoin. We don't care about that for this little discussion right here. Let's just see. ADA from the bottom. Let's just quickly see. The bottom was in the 10th or 9th. It's up roughly 25% or so from the bottom. The total altcoin market cap, so any alt in general, is up roughly 16% or so from the bottom in 3 days. Many people sold that bottom because they got scared. And it's so funny. Anyway, so somebody was asking, when do we make it? By the way, if you want to also trade crypto, there's a link down below to 𝗏𝗏, which you can check out. Or there's also probably somewhere a link down below to, I don't think it's down below yet. Let me quickly put it in here. The reason I'm using 𝗬𝗏 also sometimes is because they're both kind of like you can use them anywhere. So that's kind of easy for a lot of people that are watching these videos. But more importantly, because sometimes they have different bonuses and they can be nice to just make use of those. So that's why I have 2 that I'm showcasing now. And Bybit, obviously, I still love Bybit, obviously, but a lot of people in a lot of countries can't use it. So I had to look for a couple of different platforms. These are both quite nice. Let's quickly put this in there. So that is the 𝗬𝗏 one. And 𝗏𝗏 is also pinned. So you can check that out. Okay, so we'll talk about what our trades are in just a second, but I'm seeing Caviar say, let me quickly go through that. Caviar just said, just listen to Bitcoin prediction for 2025 at 250,000 and XRP repeating 2017 run at $80 to $107. Now, I see the chance of XRP hitting $80 to $100 as 1%, if not less, actually way less than that. In this run in 2025, I don't see XRP hitting even close to $100 at all. Right? I think in my more bullish scenarios, it's closer towards 50 that I think have some reasonable possibility. But $20 around that mark, 20 to 25 is where I'm thinking that's a pretty high estimate, but very much doable. But if I'm being honest with you, I think even a $15 mark is already very freaking high and I would already be very, very happy. But $100 I think is not going to happen. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm personally thinking it's, just losing it. I would not count on it. Again, I can be your echo chamber just saying, yeah, amazing, do more. Sometimes I wonder if I'm going crazy. Is there really even sound or maybe I'm going a bit cuckoo. It's possible. Anyway, so somebody was asking, when do we take a trade? There's multiple scenarios here for good trading possibilities. There's an argument to make that the moment we get ourselves this breakout candle and we get ourselves a confirming candle, that we buy in, basically anticipating a breakout towards, or actually of this previous resistance as well, or we actually take a very short-term trade between these two lines depending on what the confirmation candle looks like. That's a possibility. Or we wait again for a massive pullback either towards the previous bottom, which would be roughly $2, or all the way towards the bottom of the channel, which would basically be the range low, we can call it in this case here, which would be about a $1.90, something along those lines. And that is if you want yourself the best way I can call it is you want yourself a cheap entry, right? But we, for the most part, are looking for amplifying our trade. The reason I've got this thing open here still is not because it's optimal. It's actually not, right? The best thing would be to just sell whenever things are high, buy whenever things are low. It's actually mostly just to prove to people, because many people don't understand how leverage works, and that's why I like to keep them open, showing, hey, we turned $1,000 into like $35,000, because that way it's just easier for people to understand what the reason is we do that. But the reason, the below fin one, let me quickly find it here. Actually, I can describe it better here, I guess, right? So what I've shown you is the scenario of you buying your way down with the yellow markings. That is, you would buy, for example, the top with 100 units, right there in the middle at 200 units, right there with 500 units, and the bottom here with 2,000 units. Why? Well, because that is a good way to just average your way down. If you were to go down even more towards $1.40, you'd have to buy even more units or add more margin to make sure you don't get liquidated. But with this scenario, it's just an example scenario. You don't have to hold these units perfectly. I'm just saying, with that scenario in mind, it's very freaking hard to lose. Our last buy was, again, at the bottom once we went to about $1.90 or so. And the reason they really didn't add too much to the position is because I'm trying to keep my average price quite low. But that's, again, because I'm doing something of giving an example of a trade rather than actually doing the trading on this account. But so if I was looking at this right now, buying here is actually quite stupid. As it currently stands, it looks quite stupid, mostly from the perspective that you're buying at the previous top. So right now, you got to have a lot of confidence that it's going to keep breaking through and actually start going crazy from here. But more important, or actually more logically, it might just fall right back down about 7% or so back down towards the previous support and then have another bounce or so if we're looking at it from this perspective, from this chart. More importantly though, if we manage to go beyond the previous levels, that's again where it becomes quite interesting to long. You might say, Dusty, but that's the opposite. You want to long when things are cheap, right? Well, we missed that. We missed to long when things were back at $2.28 because a lot of you guys did not do that, but that's completely fine. Or you did not do it at $1.90. Again, that's completely fine. But then we're going to take slightly riskier opportunities where, again, in one of the worst case scenarios, we're going to have to buy our way down instead of just keeping it open forever. And that's because you either are going to want to buy the breakout candle, which is the riskiest thing you can do, the confirming candle, which again means you're going to get yourself a slightly worse price, or again, the moment that it decides to dip right back down. But then you have a scary thing. What if it just continues on like this? And that is the risk you're taking by not taking a position at any one time. But that is also just a difference in whatever your risk profile is. Some people prefer to have a position open all the time and then average their way down. Some people prefer to just only buy the best of the best entries and for that reason take little trades. It depends on you. It depends on your style. So for me, I would usually just get started, even if it's just a very small position, just to kind of see the feel of how it all goes, because the most important thing you can do is just start and see. But I also I'm going to have to play devil's advocate a bit and saying that if you just start clicking buttons, I don't think you're better off. You might want to just watch the video I made yesterday, or actually this morning. I posted it this morning, but I made it yesterday, about how I'm trading crypto. I posted a video on my channel, right? You guys will probably be able to find it. I'm not so sure what it's called. Let me quickly go find it. At the same time, I'm going to look at the chat real quick. Where are you guys all watching from right now? Where are you guys all watching from? Where's the chat from today? Anyway, so yesterday the video was how to make a couple $100 a day trading crypto, basically. And the reason I called it that is because, you just watch the video. You'll see. Because there's two, hey, look at that. We got Hong Kong, we got Toronto, we got Germany, Texas, Dubai. Hey, welcome. Georgia, Canada, Trein Maastricht, Saigon, Vietnam, Norway, Philippines, Minnesota, Lauderdale, Australia, all right. North Carolina, Florida, Sweden, I think. Bergman. Poland, Taiwan, Dallas, Texas, London, Dallas, Norway, New Jersey, USA, I think. Nice, funky monkey. Greetings from Greece. Do you think we're going to pump this weekend? Man, that is just like throwing your finger in there. Are we going to pump over the weekend? We might. It's not the answer you want, but that's the best answer I can give. Really, we could. but I don't really mind any You see, if you're reliant on it, if you need it to happen because a certain way you've set yourself up, you're setting yourself up wrong. I'll make a video about that later, how I basically never lose. Because I talked about it before. If you are having doubts, you're not sure, you're thinking, oh, should I? Wrong mindset. I don't want to be that wizzy-wazzy guy, a really spiritual saying, oh, it's all about mindset when it comes to money. No, it's not. Not only, but a good portion of it is. And when it comes to these trades, one person might say this is a very bad entry, for example, just looking at the price, while the other person might say, oh, it's actually at $2.40. It's 45 cents, let's just call it 20% cheaper than what it was about a week or so ago. You're getting yourself a very good discount to the top you could have bought previously. And again, looking at it from a broader perspective, we could have actually been in a way worse spot, buying our first bag at $2.90, our second bag at $2.58, and our third bag perhaps at $2.29. Right now, we have a starting price of $2.44. Am I saying 244 is awesome? No, because the chance of returning back down is higher than breaking out. So I wouldn't take it right here. I would personally wait for some slightly lower prices. But again, the risk there being that you might see the price just break out and go crazy here, because on other time frames, and again, the higher the time frame is, this is the 4 hour, and this right here is the 1 hour. The higher the time frame is, the more certain you are that that's the one to watch for, so to speak. So if you're seeing something on the daily, it's stronger than the 4 hour, which is stronger than the 1 hour, which is stronger than anything below it, which I wouldn't even count as reliable. And if you're seeing something on the weekly, that's usually what to follow. And more importantly, if you see something on the monthly, it means almost nothing, because the monthly is just a mess when it comes to XRP, man. It really is a mess. Never before have we seen 2 months of this crazy green, but perhaps throughout the next few days, no, we still got 2 weeks of this month left. I was going to say perhaps throughout the next few weeks, we're going to see ourselves make something really, really crazy. So somebody asked, 𝗁𝗏𝗀 says, how much crypto trading do you think is psychological game instead of actual technology behind it? That really completely depends on you. So I've got friends who do algorithmic trading. It's actually only tech. There's literally no emotion. Okay, I'm going to say almost 0% emotion involved, rounded down to 0. But there's also friends of mine who literally it's all emotions. I wouldn't say they take over for the most part, but that's the only thing really keeping you back. And that's because if you're trading with $1,000, $500,000 to a lot, okay, no, I'm putting a big gap there. I want to say if you're trading with small amounts, it's mostly containable, right? But if you've got, for example, you're playing around with, so again, it was $1,000 or $500, but you're playing around with 500,000, maybe even $10 million worth of a position. Again, another guy you guys might know, Chris, Crypto, he, for example, had opened what? 30 million, maybe 12, I don't know, I don't remember. 12 million, 20 million in positions or so. That's again when things start to get on your emotions if you're not really certain in what you're buying. And that's again where either you have enough money where it doesn't really matter, which some people do, or you just really, really believe in what you preach and you buy. Thomas says, why trade when you can invest? Solid. So the answer is, well, if you are fine with investing, do it. Don't trade. It's simple as that. So watching you from China, very nice. So the reason oh, by the way, we got a new supporter. So big shout out to SHIB Army. Nice. The big reason and the big difference between trading and investing is, I would say for the most part, investing is better for most people. Why? Because you buy something and you don't touch it until it's so much higher than it is. Even if it takes 10 years, well, as long as you just don't press the sell button, it looks annoying, but eventually you'll be able to sell it for more probably, right? So it's fine. It's good. The reason trading is so nice, there's two parts. One is here, you're buying a certain amount of coins. Let's say you buy 100,000 XRP. That is now going to be 100,000 XRP. The dollar value might change, but your coins remain the same. With trading, the idea is, if you're trying to trade to get more of a certain pair, you can do that, by the way, on some exchanges like Bybit. You can actually trade, for example, XRP with XRP, meaning you're earning in XRP as you make profit on the trade. Regardless, normally the idea is that in this way, you can get yourself more coins, which is some people, when they're just investing, they also buy and sell. Not because they want to make more dollars, but because they want to buy more coins. Example is, let's say you buy 100,000 XRP at $1. If the price now goes to $2, you can sell all your XRP. Now all of a sudden, you have $100,000, you've got yourself $200,000. If the price comes back down to $1, instead of now you could buy double as much. If you guys get my drift, now you can have 200,000 coins, even though it's still the same price as it was before. Whereas if you were holding, you would have still held the same 100,000 up and down, right? Anyway, so that's, theoretically speaking, just investing, buying, and selling, which I don't really consider the same as fully trading. With trading, I more so see it as, let's say I've got a stable coin stash for that's $10,000 worth, right? And I've got my investments already on the side. And I've got my $10,000 here, or some coins, whatever. I might want to use this to try and make it more. And it doesn't really matter if XRP is at $1 a coin, $10 a coin. I try to look for good opportunities. I try to look for good entries. And for example, with a strategy like we talked about here, I buy my way down, for example, to make sure I just get myself a juicy position so at the moment it swings up, it don't matter how many coins I got. All I care about is turning my $10,000, for example, into $12,000. And then since I've got 12,000, I'm trying to turn that into more and more and more. Coins don't matter. It's just about to turn it into more dollars. Now, again, a different thing again being with this one, you might be afraid of missing the boat because if the price starts going up like crazy, this top yellow line, you might never be able to buy as many coins anymore. Whereas if you're trading, it doesn't really matter if it starts going up. Again, even right here at $2.90, a holder might think, oh man, I could have bought for 50 cents recently and now it's $2 or whatever. Whereas a trader might think, oh, it just hit $2.90. Afterwards, it went back to or actually $1.90 though. If I try to buy right here, it's going to be a very quick flip. I can make a lot of money on that bounce back up. Again, not really caring how many coins you're able to get, just the amount of dollars that it's worth. There's a ton more differences, but it's just to give you some idea as to why you might want to go for one over the other. Another could be, which is what I've also shown you on the channel before. Do you guys remember the $1,000 I was able to turn into, I think like 40,000, something like that? It was actually because of like a broader swing trade, basically meaning I bought Bitcoin actually because I did if you want to know the full story, I did a live stream a while back and I said, do you guys think we should long or short? Because I put $5,000 on the account. I said, what should we do? You guys said long. You guys were wrong. Price went down like crazy and I forgot about it. I was like, okay, 5K lost, skip it. But then I forgot about it for I don't know how long exactly, like maybe a few months or so. I looked back on my account and realized, hey, we didn't actually get liquidated when the Bitcoin price moved down from 31 or whatever, all the way back down. We didn't get liquidated. We actually still had a trade open. And so now the price all of a sudden started moving back up and I still had my long open. And eventually, because it was with leverage, we were able to turn that $1,500 into almost $40,000 minus some funding fees because it's been many, many months. And so again, the power of trading there being that we were able to use some leverage. But again, there are leveraged spot tokens as well in the investment form if you want to. We're able to use leverage to basically take more advantage of these moves, which we are almost certain of. Not certain, but almost certain of. And so that is a broader thing. I'm just trying to have the position open, for example, for multiple months with extra leverage. But theoretically speaking, you could do the same, like I just said, with just investing, buying here, selling right there. But then again, the risk becoming, if you want to, or for example, a Bitcoin fan, let's say you were able to buy one Bitcoin right here. You still hold that one Bitcoin all the way towards the top. Now it's worth 100,000 though. But if you sell it, maybe the Bitcoin price keeps going up more, and now you're never able to buy one full Bitcoin again. You might have more, you might still have $100,000, so it's more than you started with. But in terms of coin purchasing power, you might now have less. If you guys had to name one coin you really are thinking is going to go crazy right now, which one would it be though? Alchemist says Trump is the FOMO president. I think Trump indeed will be a very, very interesting switch. Alchemist is also always here to hit the like. I appreciate that. Everybody, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. You've got nothing to lose. Literally nothing's going to happen to you in terms of the negative side. Let's see. We got ourselves Ethereum Classic, Grokcoin, XRP, Flare, Uncle Elon Let It Pump, A16Z, VeChain, XLM, Flare and Songbird, XLM, XRP. 11 says, anyone excited for Monday when we should see RLUSD being released and talks of USDT being delisted from all exchanges in Europe? So the delisting thing is indeed an interesting one, but are you guys sure that RLUSD is going to be launched Monday? Did Ripple announce that or no? I didn't see it, but Dusty, I love your background view. You can't see nothing, right? I don't think you can see much. Maybe if we go out the way and it's gonna focus a bit. No, you can't. I don't think you'll be able to see much. Somebody says was able to turn $16 into $2,000 with HBAR. Again, that's one more big difference between just buying and investing and trading it. But also, for the most part, I think a thing that many people forget about is that if Bitcoin right now goes up 1% in an hour, for example, you're able to take way more advantage of that because of the leverage effect. That's also the downside. If a coin of yours, for example, goes down 5% in a day, it's obviously also way worse, so you got to understand that. But that's obviously the edge you're looking for, right? That you're able to take more advantage of things. And obviously, if there was no risk, there would be no profit. So that is ultimately the biggest difference. Another part could be that you can short if that's something you're interested in. But boom, oh, look at that. The hour is interesting. Some of my favorite coins going up. You know that you guys have really made me look into Jasmy so much more than I would have ever expected. Like Jasmy, you only hear about it in crazy bull markets. I have no idea what the coin does, but every single time I ask you guys, hey, what is your biggest holding? I keep seeing people talk about it. So it's really one of those hyped up projects, huh? That is really kind of funny. Core was one of my biggest holdings. I've actually sold off a lot because right now, once the market starts moving again and we go from Bitcoin to Ethereum large caps, as I stated, I went for a lot of AI and Ethereum, Ethereum ecosystem coins. You could consider coin Ethereum ecosystem as like a layer 2 of sorts, as it acts as now, or at least EVM compatible. But for the most part, I'd say a lot of the coins that were really, really huge were AVA and whatnot quite recently. For some reason, virtuals just keep going crazy as well. A lot of my friends are saying that they got more and more into it, but I mean, it's up like 530% this month. 530% in a month. Wow, huh? It was just 5 cents a few months ago. I got some for free. I don't remember exactly how. Maybe on Bybit? I don't know why I got some for free. I got some though. No, I think I've actually been holding this since the start. Maybe I invested in it early. I don't quite remember. I have some virtual, not a crazy amount though, but now it's turned into something interesting because it's obviously gone from 5 cents to like $3 almost. So that is an interesting one. HBAR, a lot of you guys are talking about HBAR. You know the funny thing though, when it comes to HBAR is that even though I'm quite bullish on it, you know, it's not really because of their recent announcements or things like that. And HBAR, if I'm being completely open and honest with you, they're up a lot again from their bottom. But relatively to previous markets, HBAR is one of the least undervalued ones. You know, they've actually had one of the best performances out of almost any crypto out there. For example, XRP, Cardano, all those, there are significantly less how do you call it, like back in comparison to things like HBAR. And somebody says, Dusty, we're going down again. It's because Bitcoin kicks the bucket right now. Bitcoin is, as it currently stands, kicking the bucket. So earlier, let's quickly go to the 15-minute chart you'll be able to see. So again, Bitcoin is still king. Just now, Bitcoin is actually at 101,360. And over the last couple of minutes, it's fallen down, let's just see here, about $1,000 or so, $800 here, roughly 1% or so. And you'll also see the same almost always happening for alts. So the breakout was very short-lived, but again, we got our story out, which is more important. Oh, stuck for a little second. More important because now, hopefully, people will be able to see this from my perspective. Let's see here real quick. Saw says, took 500 trade up to 22K over the last 45 days-ish. Don't get me wrong, got taken out a little during the last market liquidation, but we coming back, baby. Again, if you're getting liquidated, there is some mistakes that you're making still. And some people prefer it that way because I also have some friends who are able to run 5-figure accounts into 7-figure accounts and then sometimes wreck them. It's because they like the high risk. They like to make a lot of money on the moves up and lose a lot of money on the moves down. But it's just a different way of trading. Some people, they like the gains quick. They like them quick, quick, quick. So what did we hit? At the end here, nothing too significant. Honest truth, nothing too significant. Because we are right back to the resistance and came crumbling back down. Just as how we stated. Again, the chances higher of us falling right back down to the previous bottom at roughly 228. Especially if Bitcoin doesn't cooperate. But, again, there's a chance of the breakout right here. At least there was an attempt. And it could have been really, really juicy. So I wanted to stream because the price, all of a sudden, I was recording a video. It was a 244, 45. All of a sudden shut up to 248. I was like, oh, I want to at least stream in case something crazy happens here. I do not want to miss it. But right now, Bitcoin has decided to fall back down, and it also has canceled our breakout for a little bit. This is, again, the Bitcoin chart over the past few minutes. It has been falling down, not too heavily, but you can see it's been an interesting fall here. From 101,350 to 100, I guess, 520, roughly 1% down in 10 minutes. And for Bitcoin, that is quite a steep fall. A lot of people understand. Bitcoin, 1% down in a few minutes is a lot. Yeah, that's all I can tell you right there. It's a lot of money to fall down on. But if it bounces right back up, which most likely it will, mostly alts will be looking beautiful again as well. Anyway, guys, that is it for the stream here. I just wanted to quickly go live in case something crazy happens. And I wanted to give you guys a slight little update on the trades and the trades ideas, which for the most part still is the same. I'm longing the freaking longs. And we might get really, really dark here in the midst. I might wake up tomorrow, because right now Bitcoin just keeps falling more. I might wake up tomorrow at a way lower price. But you know what's funny? It's not going to change my tactic because I really believe in what I buy. I really believe in the broader theory here. Look at that, huh? This is Bitcoin, if you're wondering. And it's having a good time here with us, with our emotions. But I really believe in what I'm buying, so it just makes everything so much easier. I don't have to second guess. I don't have to think, oh, maybe. No, I just keep on buying. If things push comes to shove, I buy my way down to make sure. Ooh, 100,002. We're crashing, no. But I keep buying. If you, again, I actually explained it throughout the stream here. If you have you want to buy the dip type of vibe, then you obviously are now seeing where the dip is going to be. Again, it starts basically at roughly, I'm going to say around 228, something around that mark is where the dip really starts. Then again, even at $1.90, it's now not that crazy because we hit it previously. We hit it a few days ago. So even at $2.28 now, because of what we saw over the last few days, it's actually quite a pricey, point to buy at. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so freaking bullish on these coins, man. Just want to quickly portray that. Anyway, that was it for the stream for right now. I wanted to see if we could break out. We didn't, unfortunate, maybe. I wouldn't say that. I think it's all really, really positive, whatever price action we're seeing. And the fact that XRP is able to sustain a $2.40 mark and just continue on this bullishly, I think it sets a really, really good target for the rest of the bull run. But yeah, guys, that's it for right now. Hope I see you guys again over the next few hours as I'll be releasing a couple more videos today, all right? It's coming out. See you guys soon.